morning, everyone. This is Emily from Grammy's Garden. I thought today would be a good day to make a pecan pie bread pudding. I have my daughter's coming for lunch and she's bringing savory food, so I thought it'd be nice to whip this up, and then we can eat it this evening too when I have a couple other family members that are going to be here. So I'm getting ready to make it, and here's ingredients. It's pretty simple. I don't go and buy, the recipe calls for French bread, 16 ounces of French bread. I have bread here that's a bread I really like, but I've had it a couple days and I wanted to go ahead and use it. And it's nice and dry, a little bit dry, which is the texture you want so it can soak up all the other ingredients. So let's get started. In this bowl I have separated out 6.5 cups of bread. And if you want to cube your bread and get the French bread, that's great. But this is what I'm using because this is what I have on hand. In this bowl, I'm going to mix eggs, 4 eggs, Okay, so these are 4 eggs, large eggs, and I'm going to beat them just a little bit, and then I'm going to add 2.5 cups of milk. And I've got 2% milk on hand. I'll go ahead and put this half and half in first so I can use my container. This is 1 cup of half and half. For those of you who don't know, you might be in another country, what half and half is in the US. Half and half is half cream, half whole milk. So to that, I'm adding 2.5 cups of milk. Now, if you don't have half and half on hand, milk's going to be fine. I'm always like working with what I've got. You've heard me say that in other videos. I work with what I've got. So to that, I'm going to blend this. I'm going to add a cup of sugar, and I'm going to add 1.5 cups of packed brown sugar. Okay, I had to get my brown sugar. I didn't have it out yet. So I've got it, and I'm going to mix it into here. But first I'm going to put in a tablespoon of vanilla. That sounds like a whole lot of vanilla to me. Okay, I was all ready for this video and I didn't have my sugar out. I'm going to confess my sin. Also, I checked and that's not a whole tablespoon of vanilla. I didn't think that it would be. So I'm adding 1.5 teaspoons. I guess sometimes we can transcribe things wrong, but it just didn't sound right to me. Okay, and then in that we need a pinch of salt. It said 1/8 teaspoon. To me that's about a pinch. But we do need that little bit of salt to offset all of this sugar. This is a lot of sugar. So I'm going to beat this together. We've got all of our wet ingredients down. I want to make sure I got every single one of those because I don't want any of this to get mixed up. Okay, and then into this, I'm going to pour this mixture over the bread. Pour it right over the bread. Bread pudding is about one of my children's favorite dessert, or just something to eat. Some people like to have it for a breakfast. Like, it'd be good, I think, a couple days after Thanksgiving. Like right at Thanksgiving, it might be too sweet for us to want to eat that the next morning after all that food at Thanksgiving. So, and I hope everyone has a lot of food at Thanksgiving. So I'm gonna put the sugar into this bowl, both those sugars. And then I've got 1 stick of unsalted butter that's softened. And this recipe says that this is going to be sort of a sandy texture when you get done with it. And I could see that. Dry sand. We'll just mix this all together. I want this really well combined because I think what this is going to do, the brown sugar with the regular sugar and the butter, it's probably going to, once it kind of melts or does melt in a 350-degree oven with all this, it's probably going to take on a little bit of the taste that maybe the caramel syrup would bring to the pie if you were making a pecan pie. How do you all say it? Do you say pecan or do you say pecan? I grew up in the Missouri Ozarks, and I never heard the word pecan till I moved to another part of Missouri. But we did talk funny to people when we moved up here. My sister and I went right from where we'd been in a little country school down in the Ozark Mountains. We went right from there into a school in central Missouri that seemed like a big city to me, and I think the town was like 2,000 people, but it seemed like a city. When you live where there's like nothing there, you can see the neighbor's light at night, way up the holler. That's where we grew up, and then all of a sudden we were transported by my dad's job to central Missouri, and my sister and I have reminisced about how we remember not talking like the other kids. I don't think we knew it, but it got pointed out to us sometimes. And those people are just adorable. They're great people. I'm still friends with a lot of those people I went to school with here in this area. I'm in central Missouri, but I'm no longer in that town. I'm in another smaller town. Okay, I've got it to that consistency that I think is right. I'm going to put in, this is 1 cup of chopped pecans. And it does feel like it's kind of a dry, sandy mixture, but I know this is going to be some good stuff. I have a buttered 8x8 dish ready. It's a grease, and you know, if I'm putting butter in the recipe, I'm going to just go ahead and put butter in the pan. I want these pecans to be really mixed well throughout this sandy mixture. Okay, I'm going to give this a good stir, and this is really getting soaked up here. I want you all to be able to see that. And I like that it's got the liquid. I prefer my bread pudding to be real moist. If I'm making a raisin bread pudding, that's something that's so good on a whim, is a raisin bread pudding. And if you're wanting something sweet and you think, ooh, I think I'd like to have something, especially now that it's getting really cold outside, I'd like to have something warm to eat. You can whip up a bread pudding, and it doesn't take that long at all. This will be in the oven for about 45 to 55 minutes. And I'll be checking on mine, but just know it's normal for it to jiggle in the middle, okay? All right, I've got that really well dispersed. I'm gonna get my pan. As you can see, I've got that greasy, all right? I got it really greasy. I have nothing against butter. All right. So the first thing you do is you put about half of this mixture in here. And I'm gonna set this down. I want this where y'all can see it. Now they said you're gonna have to really press down because to fill this 8x8, and you know bread puddings do puff up like they're almost rising when you cook them. They'll puff up, so don't be alarmed if that happens. Then you put in half of this mixture on top, and this is where you're supposed to really press it down. You know, this is already looking good to me. It's already looking good. I can just kind of imagine it. And pecan pie is sometimes too sweet for me. I like sweets, but I don't like too much of them at once. And pecan pie is one of those pretty sweet ones, but boy, when people love it, they love it. I'm more of a pumpkin pie person. And I'll be making a sweet potato pie. It's going to be a little bit before Thanksgiving, but you know, it's approaching. It's less than 2 weeks out now. Okay, got that pressed down. Here goes the rest of this mixture. And once I get this done, I'm going to put this all in the oven and bake it. And then I'll take it out and I'll show you all with a little bit of coffee I'll have, and a little cup of coffee and a little bit of this, because I will save it for lunch. Some people in my family really watch their weight and they don't take in too much of this. This meaning these sweets. But it's that time of year where people are indulging a little bit more. I'm trying to watch that because not being out in the garden nearly as much, I don't have that good exercise that I had. And so sometimes, right now I'm still watching my garden because I've got some stuff I have to harvest in the morning. Because we're now in winter. It's like winter for us. And that didn't happen until yesterday, last night when a cold front moved through. We broke records on Thursday of 83 degrees. That's just crazy. Okay, y'all, this is going into an oven of 350 degrees for 45 to 55 minutes, and I'm going to be checking on it to see how it's doing. I know it's going to be good. I just got that feeling. So I'll let you know. Thanks. Well, here it is. It's hot out of the oven. I put this on a large cookie sheet because I've had a feeling that it would bubble over, and it did. But I'm going to show you the texture. Oh my goodness, it looks so good. See all that moisture? It's almost like a sauce. I dribbled a little bit of it on the counter here, and when I took it up, it was like spun sugar, you know, almost like a caramel. So I'm going to try it out, and I'll hope y'all give this a try because I think it's going to be great. If you like my videos, please subscribe and like. I appreciate it. Have a great day and be blessed.